Yesterday, we solved algebraically by substitution. What's different about the setup today?
There's no like alone like why.
For a isolated variable.
It's not like set x equals this.
Or y equals right. There's no variable that's isolated. So when they're lined up like this, it is much easier to use what's called elimination. So usually students like elimination better than substitution. So what you want to do is you want to eliminate a variable. So if we add, right away, if we add, what do we get here? We're just adding straight up and down. 4x. What happens to the y's? They cancel, so they eliminate. So a variable is eliminated. So that's our goal, is to eliminate a variable. So we get 4x equals 12. We now have an equation of just one variable. And then we could divide by 4. X is 3. Are we done?
No,
Plug it into either equation or one specifically?
Either.
Either one in this one. You can always do it as either one. So if x is 3, I'm going to put that into the x. So I get negative 2 times 3 plus 3y is 0.
You just have to add the equation.
So we get negative 6 plus 3y. Zero. And so now we're going to add 6. 3y is 6, and then divide by 3, and y is 2. Did you have a question about something, Aiden?
No.
Okay. So now we're going to write our answer as a point. When we have an answer that is a point, what does that mean in terms of the graph? Okay, I graph those two lines. The lines cross at that point 3, 2. Okay, so now if I'm on number 2, if I just add them, I don't eliminate a variable, do I? So I'm either going to have to multiply one equation by something, or I'm going to have to multiply both equations by something. So I'm going to look at the smaller of the two numbers. So I'm looking at the x's, I'm looking at the coefficients. 4 and 12. Is there something I can multiply by 4 to get the opposite of 12? That's right, negative 3. So I'm going to multiply the whole equation there by negative 3, both sides of it by negative 3. So when I do that, I get negative 12x plus 15y equals negative 15. I'm going to rewrite that first equation right below it just because it's a little bit of space. I don't want to make a mistake. There's so many places to make mistakes here that I want to make sure that I minimize my chances of making a mistake. So now I'm going to add. So did that make sense why I multiplied by negative 3 and not 3 there? Okay, because we want them opposites. Does that make sense? Okay. So now when we add them, the x's cancel, and we get 6y equals negative 6. Divide by 6. And y is negative 1. Are we done? Not yet. We still need to find our x value. Use either equation. So we get 12x minus 9 plus 9, excuse me, equals 9. And then what's my next step?
Minus, subtract the 9.
Subtract 9. And we get 12x is 0. So what next?
Divide 12, but it's going to
Divide each side by 12. What is 0 divided by 12? 0. Frequently, students will say there's no solution there. 0 is a possible solution. So my solution there is 0, negative 1. I'm going to do the next one, and then I'm going to have you do a U try. One number. Why did I choose a negative 3 times that one? So when I multiply this 4 by negative 3, I get a negative 12x. And then I can add the negative 12x and positive 12x and cancel. That's my goal. Yeah, good question. Okay, what could I do on number 3? Again, I'm looking at my coefficients. Bottom, that would be the easiest, would be to multiply the bottom by 4. If I looked at the x's, I would have to multiply both of them by something. I prefer not to have to multiply both of them by something, so I want to look at both. Does that make sense? We'll find this one by 4. Okay, so I get negative 36x minus 12y is 32. And then I'm going to bring this one down to minimize my mistakes. And add. So what do we get when we add those? Negative 30x. The y's cancel. Equals 30. And then I'm going to divide by negative 30. And x is equal to negative 1. So I'm going to take the negative 1, put it into either equation. Here's the first one. I get negative 6 plus 12y equals negative 2. What next? What do I do next to solve for y? Add 6. And I get 12y equals 4. Divide by 12, and I get a fraction. Y is equal to 1/3. So negative 1, 1/3 is my solution. Okay, I want you to do the U try. We're going to come back and do number 4 after you do the U try.
I hate elimination algebra for like because you literally just have to like guess what, like for like elimination. Wait, no, you multiply the bottom by 5.
You have to eliminate, so I use that.
Oh, what are you smiling? Wait, the first one's 5, and then the other one's 2. Is it make a condition? 2. Pause it. It's not always way around. I see. 2. Using the number 2.
That's it. So that's oh, so like the whatever the small one is.
Yes.
Okay. And then, well, what do you do it for leads? 2? And then you just go.
Oh yeah, 100. Yeah, per month. And that's it. So X is fine.
Put this under there.
Or you can put your friend lined up.
Okay. So would this be?
What should I get to you side?
Okay, so
Yeah, I do, but I don't know if I'm gonna have time. What would you have time for? I don't know. I might have to rush to work. I'll bring you down. Music system 3 and rush myself.
So,
That's 11. Well, the guy who lied about his agents because it's his check. I think he's been my TikTok profile and I'm really scared. Like, why you being my profile? You really doing it. I feel like they could be depressed.
I got naked.
Would you ever do that?
Oh shit.
See? I don't know.
You just put.
I don't like that. Not why. Why is it? I need to just start dating like someone who's way too nice. Like, I don't know how to like shrink it a little bit. Like, also dating 40-year-olds tomorrow. I'm just kidding. But like, I seriously like think about like, report me. You'd have to report the guy. Not me. I'm a minor. I don't know any better. Defensive about the world. Do you ever listen to the conversations that are happening? This is number one because it makes me laugh. So not to be big, but like sometimes, like I'm gonna start saying that from now on when I'm like asking someone for food. I'm like, not to be big, but like give me your food. So we do that for now.
okay, so you should have gotten an answer of -4 there. Questions on that before we do the last one?
Was there a question or?
Okay, I'm going to come back up to number 4. So on problem number 4, I can't multiply one of them by something to eliminate. I have to multiply both of them by something. So looking at the numbers there, it doesn't matter whether we choose the numbers in front of x or the numbers in front of y. I'm going to choose the numbers in front of x just because, excuse me, the numbers in front of y, just because they're smaller, but it doesn't matter. So what's the smallest number that negative 2 and 5 go into? 10. So I'm going to multiply this one by 5. And then this one I'm going to multiply by 2. And I'm looking to make sure my signs are opposite. They're already opposite. So I'm just multiplying the first one by 5 and the second one by 2. Does that make sense? So then I get 30x minus 10y is 50. And negative 10x plus 10y is 50. And then I add. And I get positive 20. X is 100. And I get x is 5. Am I done? No. What do I need to do next? Plug it into either equation. Let's plug it into the first one. So 6 times negative 5 minus 2y equals 10. 6 times 5, sorry. Thank you, those of you who are sitting quietly. So 30 minus 2y is 10. Minus 30. Negative 2y is negative 20. And y is 10. So I get 5, 10 for my solution there. Okay. Will, you want to pass out the worksheet? Thank you. Thank you. You're awesome. So that last one that's on your paper.
Real and last week.
That's not bad.
Okay, I just want to talk really quick about number 6. What would I do on number 6? I want to eliminate one of those variables. What could I do? So what do 6 and 8 go into? What's the smallest number that 6 and 8? 24. So I could multiply this one by 4 and this one by 3. And then I'd get a positive 24 and a negative 24. We want them opposite because... Why do we want them opposite? Right. Otherwise they won't cancel.